This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Friday, the 3rd day of July in the year 2020. I'm Gordon Mosley. Here's what we're tracking tonight. Prime Minister of Barbados and outgoing chairman of CARICOM, Mia Mottley, again expressed her concern about the political situation in Guyana this morning, as she handed over the chairmanship of the regional body to the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. In a speech during a virtual ceremony, Mottley said she awaits the Caribbean Court of Justice and its ruling on the election case next Wednesday, but remains concerned that 4 months after the elections in Guyana, the country is still waiting on the results.
We have a duty to support one another. And I say simply this: Guyana has a bright future. Guyana must have a future that makes every Guyanese a winner.
The Prime Minister said CARICOM cannot ignore principles when it is inconvenient to stand by them.
We cannot ignore principles when it is inconvenient to stand by them. I say enough on that matter at this stage, and I look forward to us being able to resolve this as a family and to ensure that the values which we reflect as a Caribbean community are those values which our founding fathers enshrined for us and which we continue to hold dearly, because these are the values that make the definable difference to the kind of democracy that we need to have.
Last week, the Barbadian Prime Minister came in for heavy criticism from some quarters in Guyana after she addressed the Guyana situation and lambasted the Chief Election Officer of the Elections Commission over his report to the Elections Commission. During the CARICOM handover ceremony today, the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, who is the incoming chair of CARICOM, Ralph Gonzalez, defended the statements made by the Barbadian Prime Minister last week. Gonzalez said some of the criticism of Mottley were vulgar and unwarranted and came from people who should know better.
Her helpful initiatives to assist in the preservation of democracy in Guyana within the terms of the CARICOM Charter of Civil Society will be long remembered. Despite unwarranted, vulgar, and opportunistic criticisms of her from assorted, jaundiced sources who ought to know better.
Gonzalez himself has faced criticism from many supporters of the APNU-AFC government over statements he has made in relation to the elections in Guyana. He too has been accused of dabbling in the internal affairs of Guyana. More news coming up in a moment.
Hello, boys and girls. As you prepare to write your exams, there are a few things you will have to do each day so that you and those around you can be safe and healthy. Please remember, on the day of your exam, you must wear a mask correctly, covering your mouth and nose before entering the school compound. Wash your hands with soap and water at the entrance of the school at the sink provided for 20 seconds. Paying attention to the palm and back of your hands, between your fingers and their tips. Dry your hands with a clean tissue and dispose in the closed bin nearby. Boys and girls, your temperature will be tested by an official. Then you will go to the designated waiting area with the floor signs and markings clearly visible, standing or sitting 2 meters or 6 feet apart at all times. It is now time to start your exam. The invigilator will direct you to the examination room. All the best. Boys and girls, playing and gathering are not allowed. Parents, the Ministry of Education thanks you for the support you have given the children during the time at home. However, in the interest of everyone's well-being, you will not be allowed to enter the school compound. Parents and guardians, we are counting on your support in picking up the children promptly after their exam. Remember, the Ministry of Education will provide transport for children who are living far away that require that assistance. Please be reminded that vending outside the school's compound is prohibited. Only authorized canteen vendors with a copy of their food handler certificate and wearing a mask, food gloves, apron, hairnet, and a hat will be allowed. Always remember to wear your mask correctly, wash your hands, and stay safe. And let's win the fight against COVID-19. A message from the Ministry of Education.
We all want to stay in touch, right? Now, even more than ever before. So to keep your connection strong, GTT is going 2 for 2. Combine GTT mobile and home internet services and we'll give you 2 gigs of free mobile data each month. With 2 GTT services, you're fully connected at home and on the go. Visit us online at gtt.co.gy/2for2 to learn more and start doing more with 2 for 2 from GTT. Stay safe, stay strong, Guyana. We're in this together.
GBTI is your Guyanese bank, a bank that understands every customer's unique needs, opportunities, challenges, and financial concerns. At GBTI, we see you for you. Whether you're buying a new home or car, planning your next vacation or retirement, saving for your child's future, or whether you're ready to take that bold step of investing in your dream business idea, we are with you every step of the way. We hear your stories and watch you focus on your dreams as we share your aspirations. We are more than just banking. We are a family. We are part of your community. Our commitment extends way beyond the walls of our branches and is demonstrated every day in the opportunities we provide to our individual and business customers. The support, time, and commitment we give back to communities across Guyana to help improve the lives of our Guyanese families. Because we see Guyana through your eyes.
The following is an important message from the Ministry of Public Health. You can prevent the spread of the COVID-19 virus. If you have the following symptoms: coughing, fever, or difficulty breathing, please stay home. If you don't have these symptoms, then practice social distancing. Avoid crowds. When in a group, keep a distance of at least 3 feet between yourself and other persons. Please wash your hands with soap regularly or use hand sanitizers. The Ministry of Public Health has a hotline to provide information on the coronavirus. Members of the public can call 227-4986 or 624-3067.
Guyana has recorded 6 new COVID-19 cases in the past 24 hours as the numbers continue to climb steadily. Those 6 new cases came from 43 tests. There are now 125 active cases of the coronavirus in Guyana, with more than 70 of those cases from Region 1 and more than 25 from Region 7. Deputy Chief Medical Officer Dr. Karen Gordon-Boyle today said the COVID-19 situation can change one's life in the blink of an eye, and that is why there is the need for citizens to follow the health guidelines.
Fellow Guyanese, the new COVID-19 death has occurred in Region 7, in a family where the spouse and the children are now left without a father, the breadwinner, the one in whom the family looked for comfort and protection. I am pleading with you, therefore, to consider your actions and envisage that life could change in a wink. Avoid the COVID-19 trauma and cooperate fully with the Compliance Division of the Ministry of Natural Resources, the Civil Defense Commission, the Army, and the police, who will be working collaboratively with the Ministry of Public Health to contain the spread of this fatal disease in your communities.
And Dr. Boyle also said persons need to also be aware of the fact that even after recovering from COVID-19, one is not too sure of the life they will live after.
The aftermath of COVID, my fellow Guyanese, is even more unpredictable. You can suffer brain damage, paralysis, irreversible lung damage, as the headline of this article reveals. Woman in her 20s receives double lung transplant after suffering irreversible damage from COVID-19. On your screen, you will see 2 images. Above is the damaged lung after COVID-19. Below, side by side, is an X-ray of a healthy lung and the damaged lung. One X-ray, oxygenated, and both lungs filled with air. The second lung shows the damaged lung, with the right side showing poor air entry and collapsed air sacs. Note well, she had a healthy lung before COVID. My fellow Guyanese, the choice is yours.
As the country heads into a holiday weekend, citizens are being reminded to follow the health and safety protocols and to also avoid social gatherings. The government of Guyana this morning announced that the COVID-19 emergency measures have been extended to the 16th of July. As part of the extended measures, all mining operations in Regions 1 and 7 will have to cease. Over the past week, there has been an upsurge in COVID-19 infections in the gold mining communities. Additionally, access to several Region 1 communities, including Maruka, which is dealing with an outbreak of the coronavirus, will be prohibited. All of the other measures will remain in place. The airports will remain closed to international traffic except for particular authorized flights, including cargo flights and repatriation flights. Places of worship will also have to keep their doors closed, except in cases of weddings and funerals, which will only have a limited number of persons in attendance. The 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew remains in place. Let's tell you now that the Private Sector Commission today expressed its disappointment in the government's approach to managing the COVID-19 situation in Guyana as the numbers continue to rise. In a statement this afternoon, the PSC said the National COVID-19 Task Force must be restructured to reflect a truly national task force, inclusive of all major stakeholders. The Private Sector Commission also said from the beginning it has supported the mandatory use of masks, the practice of effective physical distancing, and the need for sufficient COVID-19 tests to be conducted. It added that in the current political environment, coupled with the COVID-19 health crisis, the economy is now fighting to stay afloat, adding that businesses are shutting down, employees have been laid off in some cases, and citizens are without much needed economic relief. The PSC believes there is the need for more government intervention. It also wants to see additional extensive testing to be conducted for COVID-19 and much better management of public information, adequate provision of personal protective equipment, and sufficient contact tracing to be implemented and followed up. Across the region is coming up next.
They've made a positive impact on the heavy-duty transportation industry in Guyana since they've arrived. Guyanese are amazed at their power, durability, efficiency, and superior handling capabilities. These are brand new trucks, manufactured in partnership with German, Italian, and French companies. They have a powerful reputation for operating under very adverse Guyanese conditions and come with full after-sales service and spare parts. They're the most sought-after trucks today, with over 500 units in Guyana, and they're available in over 100 countries, including South America and the Caribbean. Be smart. Buy brand new ST Howo trucks today. Call 608-4998 and arrange for an inspection at ST Truck Guyana Incorporated, Block B, Public Road, Covenant, East Bank, Demerara.
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. Do right. Walk in upright ways, knowing that's what being a man is all about. And ever aware that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong. Be the one to live right.
Are you washing your hands correctly? Here are some tips on when and how to wash your hands. Step 1. Wet your hands with clean water. Step 2. Then apply soap. Step 3. For 10 to 15 seconds, lather your palms together. Always remember to pay attention to your fingers, especially your nails and tips. And don't forget the back and between of your fingers. Step 4. Rinse hands with clean water for about 20 seconds. Step 5. Dry hands with a clean paper towel or tissue.
But when should you wash your hands? After using the toilet, before and after eating, preparing or handling uncooked food, after playing with pets or caring for animals, after sneezing and coughing or blowing your nose, before and after changing babies or caring for others.
Frequent hand washing or using a hand sanitizer with alcohol as an alternative will remove viruses and bacteria from your hands.
A message from the Ministry of Public Health in collaboration with PAHO WHO.
Across the region right now, Trinidadians will be heading to the polls on the 10th of August to elect a government. Speaking at the 35th sitting of the House of Representatives today, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley announced the date for the elections. He said he has advised the President of Trinidad and Tobago to dissolve Parliament at midnight tonight, and nomination day will be on Friday the 17th of July, with polling day set for the 10th of August. And the announcement comes after the PNM's last candidate was last night successfully screened for the Port of Spain South constituency. Attorney Kit Scotland was approved at Queen's Hall in Port of Spain. The United National Congress has completed its screening process, but has yet to announce all of its candidates for the upcoming elections. Let's tell you now that a new study by the Inter-American Bank says Latin America and the Caribbean will suffer an unprecedented economic shock from a sharp downturn in tourism as a result of the coronavirus pandemic. The report, titled Extreme Outliner, the pandemic's unprecedented shock to tourism in Latin America and the Caribbean, launches a new global tourism dependency index for countries, including 35 Latin American and Caribbean economies. It urges governments to take unprecedented measures to prevent the spread of the virus and to support citizens and economies through the shock to the most tourism-dependent region in the world. The report also said that similar exercises incorporating the potential indirect contribution of tourism for economic activity would further increase these loss estimates. And finally tonight, international news. A court in France has launched an inquiry into the French government's handling of the coronavirus response. The investigation focuses on 3 senior figures, including the outgoing Prime Minister Eduardo Philippe, following complaints from unions and doctors. Earlier today, Mr. Philippe resigned amid a cabinet reshuffle. The government has faced criticism over shortages of medical equipment during the pandemic. Hours after Mr. Philippe's resignation, it was announced that a law court of the Republic, which deals with claims of ministerial misconduct, would open an inquiry into the way his government handled the pandemic. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting.